What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Are you ready?
It's time!
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully, we all are doing well. Welcome to Tech Q&A with Tech Coach Ralph, where we are, as always, engineered to win. Welcome in, everybody. And let me do this first. I am going to turn on the option to call in case anyone wants to call in and have a conversation. Maybe someone like Ferris who's unhappy with his software engineers. Who knows? The link is open. It's pinned to the top of the chat in case you would like to call in and have a conversation. Maybe you need some cybersecurity therapy. I'm here for you. All right? All right. So, how's everyone doing tonight? Let me know in the chat how everyone is doing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are in for a night tonight. We are doing our tech Q&A. So we're going to have some fun with that. All right. We are going to have some fun. Let's see. Let me, I see some people in the chat already. Let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with the chat real quick. Ferris asks, why software engineers make things hard for security? That is, you know what? If you can figure out that question, Ferris, you will, I don't know. You will make a lot of money if you can answer that question. And your car in the building. What's going on in your car? Busy day today, as always. It says they should be working in tandem. When software is written, it should be written with security in mind. It's when someone writes a whole program and tells someone else to secure it. Yep. Totally agree. All right. Let's do this. Before we get too far into the chat where I'm talking to my friends and we forget about the whole show agenda, let's do some housekeeping to get started off. All right. So first and foremost, you know how we do. We show our gratitudes and we share the show schedule. By the way, special announcement. We are also streaming on Twitch. So I'm gonna drop my link to Twitch in the chat in case anyone is on Twitch. They can go, become a follower over there. And Ferris, if you can do me a favor, send me a message on put something in the chat on Twitch. I want to see if it shows up in this application. I am curious to find out. All right. But I just shared the link to Twitch. Oh, I think it does. All right. So that is awesome. If you are on Twitch, please go and follow me over there as well. It'll be highly appreciated. All right. So with that being said, let's get into our gratitudes and show schedule. So first and foremost, let me put that up real quick. And we are going to do, boom, there we go. So first and foremost, as always, thank you to all of the subscribers, the new ones, the old ones, the ones that have been with me for a very long time. I appreciate you all. You guys are the best out there.
I appreciate you. We the best.
Yes, we are. So thank you guys so much. You know, you guys show me so much support. The candid conversation from yesterday, that was like, I don't know. We'll talk about that once we get to candid conversations, but it was a good one. I really appreciate you guys who tuned into it and got some amazing feedback on it. And next up, I want to say a shout out to Tech Barbarians, Tech Prodigy, Technical Explorers, all the Patreon members. Shout out to the Bag Chasers, to the Tech Mercenaries, those who are YouTube members. You got like so much support. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I'm looking for some new opportunities to introduce some things into the Patreon as well. So I'm working on some things behind the scenes, and we can see how we can optimize, and we can do the thing, right? Because I want you guys to be so successful. As I was saying yesterday, things that I should have done 25 years ago that you can take advantage today for your own kids, whatever the case may be, because I want you guys to win. Let me go through the struggle so that you will still go through the struggle, but it doesn't have to be as hard, right? So I just want to say shout out to all of you guys who are putting in the work every single day. You guys, when I see how hard that you work, it makes me like, all right, this is all worth it. All right. So with that being said, let's jump into our live show schedule as always, right? So, and you said, I don't know if Mitch saw it yet, right? But your car and Mitch requested that I update that starting page with the updated schedules to include Saturday. It's there, right? So let's go through our live shows real quick. Sunday afternoons, we have software exploration. We are working our way through Terraform, and then we're going to move on into full DevOps. So we have our Mondays and Wednesdays. We have our morning show, Coffee and Kata. We're doing news and coding, mobile development. That's at 7:30-ish a.m. 7:30 Mondays, 7:15. It's between 7. Let's just say between 7 and 8 on Mondays and Wednesdays, all right? In the morning. That's our morning show. Then we have Tuesday nights Q&A night tonight. All right? Tonight. And then we have our Thursday nights, software explorations, where last week we worked on the first part of Swagger AutoGen. We're going to continue working on that this coming Thursday. And then Saturdays, the newest show on the lineup. We have, and this show, really, I'm just the face. It is brought to you by Mitch and your car. They keep giving me so much insight, helping me learn so much. Tons of information to go over this coming weekend. It's the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate. And that's where we go over the weekly economic numbers, from job data to consumer sentiment to the producer price index, from the what do they call it? The ISM, something supply, maybe international supply management, something like ISM, right? Institute of Supply Management. And we talk about GDP and job losses and all this type of stuff. Like, we are breaking down this numbers, and we're making it, I'm putting it at a 6th grade level so I can understand it a lot better, because I'm new to this. See, Mitch and your car, they've been hanging around in the mean streets of these economic numbers for years. And I'm a baby, so I have to put it down at a 6th grade level so I can understand a little bit more. All right? So that's where we are at. And so that's our live shows. That is our live shows, all right? Next up, our pre-recorded. We have Monday's Candid Conversations. Yesterday, I spoke about what I wish, like my biggest mistake that I should have done before going to college. And, I got some people reaching out like, oh man, this was a message I need to hear. One of my tech barbarians were like, oh man, you're like, this is a great message, but you're so hard on yourself. And I was like, was I? I thought I was being nice to myself. I don't know. Maybe I am too hard on myself. Maybe I need to go on vacation. Who knows? But the thing is, if I go on vacation, I'll just be working on vacation, because I'll just I might not be live streaming, but I guarantee you this, I'll be figuring some other stuff out to do, because my mind can't rest. Always moving, right? The day that it starts to rest is I'm losing a piece of myself. So with that being said, we have Wednesday's software explorations, concepts, and overviews tomorrow. It's already scheduled to premiere. We are going to jump into test-driven development. That, my friend, is my favorite way to develop. And we're going to break it down, what it is, how to get into it, and then we'll be having a live stream at some point, trying to showing you guys how I at least do some test-driven development, and you can make up your mind for yourself. They say a lot of things about test-driven development, but me, I love it. So we'll find out. All right, and then we have on Fridays the Bug Bite, where we pretty much find an article and we review it. It can be a vulnerability or some hacks. It could be some software defects, whatever the case may be. This coming Friday, we're going to be discussing how Google Cloud Platform deleted a $135 billion pension fund for an Australian company. They call it an annuation fund in Australia, believe it or not. I don't know why you wouldn't believe it, but they call it an annuation fund. But it's the same thing as a 401k, a pension fund here in the States, right? But Google deleted it and its backups. They were out. But they were able to recover. Somebody did save the day. We're going to be breaking that down, all right? And then throughout the week, we also have shorts, not as much, and clips from the Q&A show. And I've been testing out some new clips as well from some of our working sessions, like when we're doing our software explorations, from the break conversations to the clips of like when we're actually doing some work, just so I can break it down. You can catch different clips and stuff like that, so you can piece it together a little bit better, because sometimes you just can't stay for the whole conversation. Maybe I might ramble a little bit too much during breaks. I know like you guys love what your car and Mitch are talking about, but maybe it's me. Maybe it's me, and you just like, all right, Tech Coach Ralph, get straight to the point. Stop with all the fluff. Who knows, right? But that's why I'm trying to cut it up for you. If I have the time to do it, I'm going to cut it up and put in these little clips and segments so that you can get the maximum value possible. I love it when you guys are hanging out with me on these live streams. We're talking and we're figuring things out. But if you need to get straight to the point, maybe the clips are a little bit better for you, right? So that is our pre-recorded content. That's our live show content. And a thank you to all of the subscribers and all of these people who connect with me in multiple different ways, all right?
I appreciate you.
So now, if you haven't done so already, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can know every single time we go live and drop new content. And if you're on Twitch, please do me a favor, follow me on Twitch as well. And lastly, check out the Patreon, www.techcoachralph.dev. I have exclusive content to help you level up, as well as if you are in need of one-on-one coaching. I have coaching plans on there as well, 2 tiers, and that we can get you right. We can get you right. Get you to that next level, okay? So that is my housekeeping for the day. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me through that. All right, so we are going to check the chat, and then we are going to jump into our Q&A for today. I made some modifications because the past couple of days I've been having nightmares with the software, but I made some modifications, and I will be closely monitoring it. Today's not the best of day to monitor it. The bestest, if that's not a word, but bear with me. Not the bestest day to monitor it because we're not really switching screens and stuff like that. But I'm monitoring it, and then tomorrow morning will be another test. We'll see. We shall see. All right. So let me get to the chat really quickly, and we'll see what we got going on with my friends in the chat. All right. So Yakar had also said in regards to Ferris's question about why do software engineers cause so much headache to the security team. And see, you also have, your car might be missing a little bit of context, right? Yesterday, while Ferris was learning Python on his stream, the software engineers tried to play him, and they were doing all types of sudo commands and escalating privileges and pushing passwords into GitHub and stuff like that. And Ferris was like, this is what Ferris did. He was like, whoa, he said, what in the are you guys doing? He said it just like that. And then they say, we didn't do it. And Ferris is like, all right, you're just going to lie to me right to my face like that? You're just going to lie right to my face like that? So that's a little bit of context of what happened yesterday. But your car says you will get a disconnect because every little change in syntax will most likely break the software, causing bugs. That is a fact. But I will add, if you practice test-driven development, when you make that little change and then you run your tests, it should let you know if you broke it or not. But tune in tomorrow for TDD, for test-driven development. We're going to break that down, get a nice overview, and you can find out more details on what I mean by that. And your car in the stock club meeting today, right? You guys don't know what the stock club is. Sorry, that's inside meeting, right? But I mentioned we're going to be talking about TDD tomorrow, and they're like, "Oh, what's TDD?" I'm like, "Well, test-driven development. Come and hang out with us and find out more about it." Anyhow, let's continue. So Ferris also said that's one aspect, but that's not the only issue. It's using unapproved software or approved methods too. Keyword is should, but speaking with others, that's not really how it is most of the time. Hey, we software engineers believe in the track by Rick Ross, Push It to the Limit. Push it to the cybersecurity engineer's limit to see when will they break, when will they fold. I'm kidding. It's not true. We don't believe in that. But I thought it would be a cool plugin right there, right? So, and Ferris, Ferris is ready. Ferris, if you want to call in and get this off your chest, feel free. I'm here for you. I am here for you, right? Even at other companies, seems like it's an overall thing. Plus, the ego tripping, had to send someone HR for trying to argue pseudo isn't privilege, escalation. Oh my God. Ferris out here in these streets snitching. Ferris, are you snitching?
How dare you?
You better snitch because you need to protect the bag, protect the company. Because if the company goes down by some silly software engineer trying to do pseudo when they're not supposed to, and now you guys are liable for a lawsuit or something, you do your job first. You do your job. We got your back, Ferris. We got your back. Your car, hopefully the context I added helped with hopefully the context helped with why Ferris is on a rant right now. He's just they messed up his Python learning yesterday, so that's really what it is. He was fighting back and forth. So cut him some slack. All right. So, and we have Ferris on the Twitch side saying D and test, showing that it is working on Twitch. We have comments on Twitch. Nice. And look at this one. Oh, that is dope. Thank you, Ferris, for the test. Oh my goodness. I didn't know you could do all this on Twitch. This is cool. I should have been on Twitch a long time ago. These are some cool emojis. And let's see. Said I think your car is lacking context in what you were talking about because you came in here hot and heated, Ferris. You were hot and heated. And Ferris says, I'll remove rerun on your tags here on Twitch. It's like Premiere. Oh, okay, cool. I'll do that after the show. But it's good to know because I wasn't sure how to do that. But perfect. Thank you, Ferris, because you are way more well versed in Twitch than I am. And your car says best us more than best. He says, I was definitely lost. I was so confused. I got your back. Your car. I got your back. And it says, that's 10% my job, an HR insider. You're on. And it says, it was to Rob, but context are good. yeah, that's what happened. But I got you. I knew exactly what he meant when I saw it. But we are going to. I wonder if I can remove that rerun tag. Wow. I wonder if I can remove that rerun tag. Wow. I wonder if I can remove that rerun tag. Hopefully that didn't come through the stream. I was going to try to remove the rerun tag from. Let me see if I could do it. Oh yeah, I could. Boom. Off. There. Nice. So I took off the rerun tag. Hopefully that fixes it on Twitch. But we're gonna get going. All right. Let's get the show started. Yeah. It was so what happened was when I clicked on the Twitch stream, the volume was on and it was just repeating what I had just said, but I muted that and I removed the rerun tag because we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. All right. So anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Time is of the essence. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get to it and bear us through. What are these? What are these emojis? These are some cool emojis on Twitch. I'm happy to be here. These are cool. All right, Ferris, you're gonna get me distracted with all these emojis. Thank you so much for being my tester on. See, I'm gonna give you a QA job. I'm gonna give you a QA job, right? Anyhow, let's get going with our questions. Because I have had a long day today. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. Actually, to be honest with you, your car's been up earlier than me, and he's probably gonna go to sleep later than me. But I'm trying. It's a crazy schedule, but I don't know how your car does it, but the way that he's able to be up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and then be up late, crazy. Anyways, let's get to it. All right. So first and foremost, let's get to our first question of the night. If anyone has any questions outside of Ferris ranting about the software engineers, post it in the chat. Feel free to click the link and we can have a conversation. It's all good. All right. Let's get to it.
Another one.
So the first question of the day, feeling lost at 27 years old. So been feeling very stuck in my career growth and what I want to do with my life. Some background, I just turned 27 and I have a degree in interior design. Yes, interior design. I graduated in 2021 and so 2021 is about 3 years ago. So they graduated at 24-ish. Okay. I had a degree in interior design. I graduated in 2021. I had a commercial interior design job for 3 months before I got let go because I wasn't as fit for the job at the time. And I also really hated working there. And majority of the women were absolute bullies and never helped an incoming designer fresh out of college. After that, I worked for a residential firm for 2.5 years before being let go because I saw an office admin falsifying hours. So you caught an office admin falsifying hours and they let you go because of that. That is interesting. Makes you say, okay, let's see where this is going. I also wanted to leave because it became a very toxic work environment. So it had to happen at some point, but I did learn a lot of things and felt I was very successful in the job. And it showed in my work and the awards we won based on the projects that I had full control over. Now, I work for 2 and 3 and sometimes 3 individual residential designers where I am contract only, no benefits, no PTO, and anything a human needs to get by. And so it says, I work for 2 and sometimes 3 individual residential designers where I am contract only, no benefits, no PTO, no anything a human needs to get by. And I started in February. The hours are crap and I am never guaranteed full time. I think since I started, I only had 1 full week of 40 hours and that was it. I have applied for other jobs since then, but I had 2 interviews recently and I didn't get the job either. Even though my past residential experience really elevated me in my career and knowledge, I am a people person who snitched on the person who was allegedly falsifying hours. I just don't know why I am not seen fit anywhere but where I am now. I've been feeling stuck because any residential job I apply for, the pay is decent, but not for my level. At this point, I would be considered almost senior, along with being a contract employee, so no W-2 or benefits, which I desperately need. I am just at a loss with my career choice, and I'm thinking I really screwed myself for doing residential so long that I can't get back into the game of a larger firm. I do have a passion for clothing. Okay, passion for clothing. And I have dreams, and goals of being my own boss, but do not have the money to even start somewhere like that. I'd also open my own clothing store, either in person or online. But once again, don't have the resources I need to do so. I just really don't know what to do or where to go from here. Oh my goodness. Let's start this one. Everyone I know has successful, stable, and great jobs, and then there is me who just feels so lost and confused. I am not trying to compare my growth to the ones I know around me, but I am super supportive and happy for them, honestly. You know, when they say honestly, they're not being honest. I'm just saying. To me, whenever someone says, like, with all due respect, or honestly, or, you know, whatever qualifier, whatever that qualifier is, I now I know that you're BSing me. But that's another. I digress, right? I don't even know if I am even worthy of being a designer anymore. I guess at the end of all of this, I don't know what I really want to do with my life and career anymore. My partner and others keep telling me you'll find something somewhere you love and has everything you want and need. Well, I've been trying to do that for the last 4 years. I don't see any success or growth because nobody is giving me a chance. It would just be helpful and appreciated if anyone had any good, solid feedback since I can't afford a therapist. But anyways, so TLDR, I wish people would put the TLDR before they put the long stuff. But anyways, I'm struggling with my career path and don't know what to do anymore. I feel stuck and it's the worst feeling in the world. All right, so timer up and let's get to it. So there is a lot of stuff in this, a lot of fluff in this, but number one, let's start off with this. I think, I'm not going to speak directly to this person, but I think that people have a way elevated sense of the quality of work that they do and of the worth they bring to the marketplace. Because why is that? So here's the thing. The market tells you how good of a quality you do. So if you couldn't cut it at the commercial firm because they were so everywhere you go, it's toxic. Am I so now when I think about that, now I wonder, am I the one with the toxic sign on me and I bring toxicity with me, or is it everyone else? Is it possible that everywhere I go, like the whole entire world can be toxic and I'm the one who is just perfect? Or is it that I'm the toxic one and I bring toxicity into whatever environment that I go in? That's my first question. Because you were saying that you hated working there at your first commercial interior. All right, Rick, let's do this real quick. All right, let's do this. I never knew the interior design field was that big, whether it's commercial or residential. I never knew. So that was news to me. But the other thing is, you said that, like, I don't understand how someone gets fired because they saw someone falsifying hours, unless, I don't know. But continuing, now the next thing is, if all you can get is contract work, why? Have you looked in the mirror and evaluated your skills? Because you believe that you are at senior level. Maybe you're not. So I think one of the biggest problems that we fail to do is doing a true, honest self-assessment. Because we're saying, all right, we don't have this, we don't have that. We want somebody to take a chance on you. Take a chance on me, take a chance on me, right? However, the commercial interior design firm took a chance on you and you absolutely hated it. You felt that you were being bullied by the other women and that it was a totally toxic environment, all that good stuff, right? So then this other residential firm took a chance on you for 2.5 years, and you got fired, not let go, you got fired, because let go to me is getting laid off. Fired is with cause because you saw someone falsifying hours. That doesn't make much sense to me, right? So that being said, now we fast forward down. You say, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, and I just want, and now you have like mixed thoughts. See, I am, people might disagree with me with this, right? But whenever I come across people who are like, they're not established in one thing yet, and they're like bouncing from place to place to place to place, and it's like nothing is actually growing because their minds are so scattered. If at least there was a detailed plan on how to accomplish something, but it's like, I like clothing, I like interior designing, I want to be my own boss, I also want benefits. You know, majority of people who are their own boss, because most business owners, they don't have like these healthcare benefits and stuff like that. They don't work 40 hours. Like your car. How many hours do you work a week? How many hours do you work a week? Your car? Because I know me, I'm working like, and when I say I'm working, I'm talking about between corporate, between what I do, like between coaching, between YouTube, all that type of stuff, between like the video editing, the recording, all that type of stuff that I have to do. It's probably like close to 16 to 18 hours a day. I on my calendar, I have sleep scheduled from midnight to 5 a.m. And sometimes I wake up earlier than that if I have to. So that's something I'm saying. Like, it's a bunch of scattered thoughts of like, oh, I have a passion for clothing. I have a passion for interior design. Probably in a bunch of student loan debt over interior design as well. So that is why I'm like, all right, you need to focus, choose one thing, and be great at that. You're wondering if I don't know. Is it possible to learn interior design off Udemy? Probably. But I think you need to focus and maybe do it. I think the number one thing, before you even focus, right? You need to do a self-assessment. Number one thing, self-assessment. Are you the toxic one? Find that out first. Are you the toxic one? Then you have to focus. And then the third thing, which might actually be the first thing, stop listening to terrible advice, right? Stop listening to terrible advice. My partner and others keep telling me, you'll find something somewhere you'll love and have everything you want and need. That is a big fat lie. You sit on a throne of lies. Is that how it goes? You don't just find things. You need to work for it. You need to work for it. It's not going to be something somewhere. You see, I hate these vague things. You'll find something somewhere, something that you love. Well, your only skill really is interior design. So that means you have to find something in interior design, whether residential or commercial, but you said that it's probably too late for you to get commercial. So you've boxed yourself into a very small sector. And based on where you live, it might be even smaller. And based on how the economy is right now, it's even smaller than that. You limit yourself so much. If I had to give some advice, I would say, take a step back, go back and learn something that is going to be more widely and broadly useful. And you can always do this as your contract and find, find something that is going to be consistent, that's going to give you your benefits. As my guy Mitch says, find a profession, a career where your company, your job can be your first investment partner. And then later on down the road, maybe you can start your own interior design firm. Maybe you can start your own clothing company as well. But you need to be more focused and not just having scatterbrain and have people tell you like things that make you feel good, but they're not actually good for you. All right. So that is my thought on how that can help you to, not feel so lost at 27 years old. All right. So that was our very first question of the night. That was a long one, but I had to touch on that one because I know so many people who've gone down this path where they go after what makes them feel good instead of what's actually beneficial to them, and then they are so lost, and then they're full of debt, and they don't know what to do. All right, so that is my thought. Let's see what the chat has to say about this as well, because I know you're Karin Ferris, and now welcome to the show, Rod Brown. How you doing? And let's see. So Ferris says going to add it to the resume. QA analyst at Tech Coach Ralph LLC. Hey, you know it. All right. And it says, I got a real question I'll ask in a bit. All right. Whenever you're ready, Ferris, I got you. And it says your car. He called it that. Whenever I see these start off this way, I'm feeling lots of it's probably a liberal arts major. If you can leverage it, because my girl they told me my degree it was like Bridget, it's like, oh yeah, my degree was in like some type of marketing thing, but all my different backgrounds I was able to leverage it to get into tech. So like you have to be able to leverage stuff, but many people can't. All right, it says bring out the tiniest violin. All right. And he needs to watch Negotiate Like a King. Is there a video for Get Skills Like a King as well? I don't know, because you can negotiate, but with no skills, you are not going anywhere. And Ferris is like, let her cook on the YouTube and the Twitch side of the game. Look at those cool emojis on Twitch. I love it. And your car says, start your own practice. Stop getting residential jobs. Get out of the mud. Contact those old clients from the other company and get some work, even if you have to do it pro bono. Your car, so many people, they don't believe in working for free ever. And for me, I'm like, you know what? It's never working for free, because you have the opportunity to gain valuable experience, especially in a field that you are not familiar with. See me, like I'm always willing to get experience, exposure, and stuff like that. But some people, they feel, nope, I will not work for quote unquote free. I'm like, you should be like, a lot of times you should probably be paying to do some work because your skills are just not up to par yet. All right. Bruh. And let's see. So Ferris said, my mentor once told me people have it backwards. You don't start a business to get money. You should get money to start a business. Don't need money to start. I think, see, that's a quote right there. You know what, Ferris, you get one of these as well. Message. That one is, I think that one is competing with Mitch. I'm gonna have to put a quote for that, because I haven't. Where's Mitch at? Mitch, you see, you have competition in the quotes department. You don't start a business to get money. You should get money to start a business. One more time. That's awesome. And we got my guy Rod Brown in the building. What's up, Rod? How you doing tonight? Got the Mark Henry icon up. Love Mark Henry. And your car says she was probably fired because the job was padding contract hours to make more money. That employee was in on it and she wasn't, so she was fired, so she didn't mess up the money. That is highly possible. Says, and your car says, I don't stop working. It's like what's his name? Kevin Gates. I got 6 jobs. I don't get tired. Your car says, if my phone rings, I am there. No days off. See, I should have been wearing my no days off shirt. No days off.
Let's get it.
All right. And Rod Brown adds to the conversation, if you don't focus or specialize in something, then you will never be good at anything. This one also gets a message. And then Rod Brown, they're going to say, I'm in a bind, Nate. And I feel so sorry for Nate, because he is always getting summoned, I've noticed that corporate jobs don't like jack of all trade resumes. That is true. That is true. You have to modify your resume to the job that you're trying to get, And yo, the Final Fantasy music. Yes, sir. Here's the funny thing, right? A friend of mine who's all into like Final Fantasy, like he loves Final Fantasy. Like when I first started doing these streams, he was like, "Oh, that's Final Fantasy." I'm like, "Really? I had no idea," because I never was it. But I just like that. When I was looking for like sound effects and stuff, I'm like, "Oh, that one was a really cool one." But happy that I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you guys, right? And your card says, "Where is Mitch?" That's what I want to know. Where is Mitch at? You know what? He's probably working. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably working. All right. And your card says, "Art majors mixed with tech is great." I agree, because that just gives you like that creativity and stuff like that. But I see so many people who don't know how to leverage it the right way. Like Bridget, I also wasn't like, I can see like an art type major, marketing type major, being into like UI UX and like how to sell customers and stuff like that. Because me, I'm terrible with UI UX. I'm terrible with the marketing and stuff like that. But and it says get skills like a king, 10,000 hours. That's a fact though. That is a fact. And your card says, when I worked for free, I always added so much value that I left with equity. I don't want that check. I want a piece of equity because that's where my value is and the most profit. And you know what? I was thinking about it too, right? Because when you have more of that equity stake, you're more invested into the success instead of, just get a paycheck. Well, I'm just going to come and, worry about, I'm like, no, I want to be like, I want to have that vested interest in, the success, because that just it means more to you. To me, it means more to you, But that's just my thought. That is just my thought. All right. And we are almost there. So what's the best way to get into a startup? You mean working for like a startup company? Let's see. And was that your question, Ferris? If that's not, but I mean, it depends on what you do for that. Like, it depends on what you do. It's always, startups. The thing is with startups is that they have, you wear many hats in a startup, and I think it's a great experience, but number one, some people don't like that. Number two, it just depends on what you can do. And it's like the more that you can do for the price point that they're looking at, that's the best opportunity you're going to have to get it, Get some water first. All right. It says create your own startup. Go into as a boss, and you'll meet more bosses. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. Shout out to Yakar and his amazing insight. And Ferry says, let me cook by the end of 2025. How did James Harden be doing it? He was like, he'll be like this, anyways, whatever. I did it wrong, but it is what it is, right? Anyways, let's get to our next question of the night. All right, let's get to it.
Another one.
Chronically overwhelmed software engineer thinking about switching over to testing. What? Anybody got any experience first or second hand with this switch? I've been programming for over 2 years, and I'm stressed with pair programming due to being ADHD and have the fear of being perceived. I struggle to break down tickets into steps. I struggle to start features. I am more of a visual person. It's imposter syndrome, and it's getting worse despite having such a positive environment and manager. I've spoke to some people recently that switched from test to dev to test and said it was the best place for them. They also had similar struggles. I just feel like I'm in the wrong career, and I wish I tried to get into testing initially more. I kind of just stumbled into this, and I'm so burnt out. Has anyone experienced switching from programming to test, and how can I educate myself in the space before I officially start a conversation with my manager? So, a few points, because I feel like people are judging my situation greatly. My company has no blame culture for both dev and test. I've already spoken to a tester who has tried to be a developer and has had the same struggles as I do with engineering. She's so much happier and is less stressed out. My potential manager is lovely and I have a good network with him. I have absolutely little to no deadlines at my company and would never be rushed to get a feature out bug free. We have canceled and delayed many releases because testers needed more time. So that is a great question right up my alleyway. Let's get the clock started. So here, let me put I didn't even put the thing up. My bad. Give me a second. All right, boom, there we go. So here's the deal. Chronically overwhelmed as a software engineer. It sounds like you work in a good culture, a good company culture as a software engineer or as a tester. But let me give you some insight to testing. Usually, which I don't know about your particular company, but usually as a QA engineer, it's going to be maybe 1 to 2 of you on a team with about 4 to 6 software engineers. And they are all working on different aspects of a particular story, or they can all have their own individual story and they can be working in parallel. And if you're working in an agile environment, in a Scrum environment, when the sprint starts and they all start working on their tickets, right? Now, let's say the first week, right? Let's be gracious to the software engineer. Let's say the first week, they all get their stories done. Let's say it's a 2-week sprint. Now, in the following week, that means you have 4 to 6 different stories to test between you and your other QA engineer. And that means you have to go through the test plan. You might have to write your automated testing. You have to write your automated testing because it is not optional anymore. It is not optional. Thinking that you're going to get away with manual testing, it is a big no, not happening anymore. You have to write automated tests. So you need to also make sure that the test is working in different environments. You need to make sure that the application, the configuration is correct. You need to be ready to deploy. So all that to say is it's not all roses on this side. I love quality assurance, but I'm also a glutton for punishment. And you need to be in tune with, doing QA, it's not just, I'm going to test this thing. It's also building the right relationships with developers, knowing each developer that you work with, knowing how they work and knowing how to communicate with them. It's a lot of interpersonal skills as well that goes out with the technical skills. I think you're in a good spot because you do have the developer knowledge and everything like that, so you can understand the code and stuff like that. But you need to be able to communicate with the developers. You need to understand what they're doing, which I think you have that. The other aspect is you need to know how to see. A lot of developers come with the mindset of everything works, while QA has to come with the mindset of nothing works, and it's usually somewhere in the middle, right? Where most of the things work, but the things that don't work, it can be very critical. So you need to be able to approach it with that mindset as well. You need to a lot of times you should take a QA course. You can probably take one on Udemy, especially if you're already working in the industry. I don't think your company would you have to go do some no company will ever tell you to go do a QA bootcamp, right? But maybe take a Udemy course, maybe take a Coursera course, understand the lingo and stuff like that. You're probably not going to use it much, but you'll understand what you're doing. And you have to shift your mindset. The most important part in getting into QA is shifting your mindset on understanding risks and how to mitigate those risks, seeing things that everyone else can't see. You have to build a sixth sense, like the movie. I see potential flaws. I see defects. I see bugs, while no one else can see them. You have to build that ability to think about what can go wrong and how it can go wrong and write scenarios to prepare for that. Because anybody can just test the happy path. But what about the unhappy path? What about the miserable path? So that's what I think about that. It seems like you're in a good environment either way. And I think even if you were to switch to tester, to QA engineer, and let's say it didn't work out, it sounds like your company would be happy to bring you back if you wanted to go to back to software engineering. But I don't know if ADHD is if being a tester is going to help you with ADHD. And about the part about breaking tickets into steps, you still have to do that for QA engineering. You need to be able to break down like the steps you're going to follow to test this application. That reminds me, remember first I was telling you about like when you get these projects in Python, like you have to break it down into steps instead of like going for the Hail Mary every single time, going for the home run every single time, going for the 35 footer every single time. But yeah, so I don't know if the things you list as a problem is going to be remedied or rectified in like if you go to QA. But I do think that you have a fine background to get into QA, but you're gonna have to like shift your mindset around to thinking about, hey, I have to approach this as nothing in the world works, and then you start working that way. But it seems like you're in a good spot. I don't think it's a bad idea for you to try it. Like, especially just try it out. Try it out, see how it feels, and if you don't like it, then stay where you at. I would also say you need to work like also try to enhance your software engineering skills, because I think you can get better. I don't think ADHD should prevent somebody from being a software engineer and stuff like that. You just have to focus. Like there's strategy, right? Anyways, that is that question for tonight. That's number 2. And your car asked a pressing question. So your car asked, is she clinically or self-diagnosed? It depends on what was said on Club Shay Shay versus Instagram. It depends your car. We don't know because you might say one thing on Club Shay Shay and you might say another thing on your Instagram live. It's hard to be sure about that, all right? Let's see what else we got in the chat. So, then they're going to be told, congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. And let's see. I believe in you too, Ferris. I believe in you too. You know, just the way I see you learning, like the way that you learn, the way I see your organizational skills, we got your back. We got your back. Mitch says, take off the blazer, loosen up the tie. Superman is alive. And Mitch, I'm just gonna show this to you real quick. All right, take a look at this. Take a look at this. You asked for it. I delivered. Boom. You see, we got all the shows, and we have the Saturday morning show right there. Men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. Weekly economic numbers at 9:15 a.m. on Saturday mornings. See, Mitch, I got you, Mitch. I got you. I told you I was gonna get you. All right. So, Mitch says competition. Mitch did that. So hopefully you don't gotta go through that. Okay. Bars. Let's see. What's Club Shay Shay? You don't know what Club Shay Shay is, Ferris? You don't know Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay? When he was interviewing a certain actress, and that actress said that they were clinically diagnosed with ADHD or something like that. No, what was the thing she was clinically diagnosed with? I think it was something. No, it wasn't ADHD. It was something. And then on their Instagram live, they said, "No, I'm not clinically diagnosed. I'm not gonna pay $10,000 for that." We're like, "Wait, what?" We're like, "What? Like, no, I don't know." Anyways, we got my guy in the building. We got Antonio Watkins. What's going on, Antonio Watkins? And Mitch, I'm not even gonna say the name because I don't need them coming over here giving me any headache and stuff like that. Nope. We got Kay Cooper in the building. Welcome, Kay Cooper. How are you doing today? All right, all right, all right. So let's get to our next question of the night. We're moving here. We are moving. So the next question of the night is
Another one.
will the demand for testers decrease in the future? I read that the trend is that developers will gradually take over the work of testers and testers will no longer be needed because of AI and ready-made test cases or frameworks. I'm not sure if that's true. If I want to work in QA, which areas are stable, I don't mind learning. I just want stability. Could you give me some insight, some market insight? Thank you. Well, of course I can. And has anyone switched from being a developer to a tester or vice versa? What's your reasoning for switching? So, I play a developer on YouTube. Anyhow, let's get to this question. Let's start our timer. So, see, the demand for testers, that is a tough question because when testers, all right, so we're going to break this down tomorrow as well, or at least part of it tomorrow about manual testing and stuff like that. If you want to be a manual tester, then there will be no demand for testers, right? That demand will significantly decrease because already they outsource testers to foreign countries. It's outsourced, right? Whether it's South America, whether it's India, wherever, right? Now, if you are one of the premier QA engineers where you can like write code, use Docker, do some type of integrate CI/CD pipelines, maybe use Terraform, all this different type of stuff. Like so many different type of things. If you can do that, then and only then you will have then your demand does not decrease because that means that you are innovative. You're able to adapt to the times. See, and that's the thing. People always wonder, oh, is AI going to take over this? Is AI going to take over that? The question is, are you able to adapt? Are you able to adapt? If not, then you're gonna go the way of the horse and buggy. You might just be a spectacle at some place where you have to pay a bunch of money to get a ride on a horse and buggy. Now it's more like a treat instead of the way things are. You have to be innovative. A lot of people they like to we just have to stay this way. We have to stay this way. We have to stay this way. And I'm like, no, you have to grow. It's all about growth. So, for instance, I am a QA engineer, and I know how to code. I've done mobile development, which you guys have seen in the mornings. I've done Node.js development. I've done some stuff in Java. I've done stuff in Python, Terraform, infrastructure, all that type of stuff. And why do I do that stuff? Is it just for fun? It is fun, but I don't do it for fun. I do it because I want to have the skills that I need to be dynamic. I don't want to stay stagnant and then look around and I see other people are passing me by. And I'm just like sitting there pouting. And I'm like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
that's not a winning strategy for me. So I'm always, and all those things that I learn, it makes me better in QA. Because I'm able to think, okay, because now I'm able, if I can understand what the software engineers are saying, I can have these conversations like, okay, did you do this? Did you think about that? And sometimes I'm able to help them resolve issues. Because I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not a one-trick pony. So if you want to find out the areas of QA that are stable, you have to look at, okay, what is the new technology that's being introduced? So AI is being introduced. Well, is AI going to take over QA? Maybe certain parts of it, but not the parts that I'm interested in because I'm always growing with the trends. Never staying stagnant. What are the growing industries? Do you think that NVIDIA when they're building these AI chips and stuff, do they have QA engineers? Is it just like a fully automated process that nobody checks what's going on? When they're building software, do you think OpenAI has QA engineers? Do you think Google Gemini has QA engineers? See, it's not. It's like people are always so worried about, oh, is this going to replace that? No, let's just adapt to where the trends are going. That's always my mindset. For me, I'm always interested in being one of the first people to try out new software, try out new technology. And even then, I'm still behind because like I'll see your car and I'll see like a Mitch like, oh, like, are you familiar with this? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I never heard of that. And I get mad at myself because why do I not know of this? I'm like, if I can just like touch it and see how it works, and I'm like, now I have it in the back of my mind, like, okay, if I know this tool does this, I can adapt to it, and I can use it. I remember when Amazon Q chatbot for business first came out, I was like, oh, let's try this out, and we were live. We were setting it up, configuring it, trying to connect to the Slack, trying to connect to whatever else I can connect it to see how it worked. Sometimes we're not successful, but I remember the other day we tried to do the Netflix safe test, and that wasn't it didn't work the way that we thought that it should. But I like to be one of the first people to try to figure things out. I like to be a pioneer. I remember Don's Chaos Camp, he had an AI challenge, and we were doing that for a while. How many people here have connected to the OpenAI API to make requests, interact with the OpenAI API, like to see, to see what kind of response, what can you do with it? What can you build with AI? It's so many different opportunities, but a lot of times we just want to sit and wait and hope somebody hands us something and beg for a chance. I don't believe in giving chances. I believe in showing that you can do the work. And sometimes you have to find strategies to do it, but that is my thought. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. All right. So with that being said, let's check the chat real quick and see what we got going. We're zooming by tonight. So we got, let's see. Let's see. All right. Kate Cooper is doing good. I like to hear that. Relaxing. That is good. Good. You know, it was a long day today. A long day. We had Star Club. We had the Millionaire Morning Show. Long day. All right. So, and we have work as well. I've been up since 4:30. My goodness. All right. So Mitch says, I'm here to make the chat live without Mitch. Mitch, there is no without Mitch, all right? There is no without Mitch. Let's clap it up for Mitch. Barry says, I try to avoid things that don't really help me learn or make money. At most, maybe Anton Daniels' channel for culture updates. That's about it. There is a lot of financial information on Anton Daniels, man. So on Anton Daniels' channel, especially the Millionaire Morning Show. So I'm just saying, all right. And it says, Ferris, you sound like a politician. Relax. Let's see what else we got. So Mitch says, I was thinking about you earlier. Saw a couple of data scientist roles that were disguised as data analysts. Remember, I was telling you about that. That's why some analyst roles pay more than others. Oh, okay.
Money.
And let's see. Rod Brown says, either you adapt or you get left behind. That's a fact. You know, that deserves a message. Do you guys remember where that's from? A message? You guys remember? I'm sure you guys know where that's from, right? Right? I know Mitch remembers where that's from. And let's see what else we got. Kate Cooper says, have to keep growing and learning. That is a fact.
We the best.
And let's see what else we got. So Ferris says, is this your question, Ferris? Says, as a QA, how would you secure an ISP API from reverse proxy that can be used as bad boy activities, such as a Spring error? Well, Ferris, as a QA, I'm going to answer that we would not do that. We would probably get the requirements from security on what needs to be done, and then based on the user story, the requirements in that story, we're going to write our test cases based on that. And so, like many times when I get a story, I don't know exactly how we're going to approach testing, but I rely heavily on the acceptance criteria. And based off the acceptance criteria, we have a meeting with whatever parties would be involved. If there were security people who had to be involved, we would take care of that. But usually on our end, like we don't really get involved in that type of stuff unless it's like a QA for cybersecurity in particular. But usually, like based on whatever the details are, how like we'd probably interview whoever, like the cybersecurity people, to say how do we actually test this, and we would probably try to perform those tests. But it's nothing like that's on the top of our head, especially like for software quality assurance. We don't dive that deep into that type of stuff. Let's see. And your car says, don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood. That is a fact. That's correct. That is correct. All right, let's go to the next question. We'll pick up from the chat after that. So we are at question number 4. Let's get to it.
Another one.
HTTP response code debate. So, question regarding usage of HTTP response codes. I just had a talk with a coworker and we disagreed. They disagreed. Oh my goodness. On the usage of HTTP status codes in the context of HTTP APIs. Let's assume this is going to be a good one for your car. You'll probably be able to help us out with this one. Let's assume get, and then you have the base URL, the service URL, / API / customer 123. Returns a JSON with customer data. In case the customer does not exist, I would return a status code of 404 since the resource customer was not found. My coworker argued that you could use a 404, but also status code 204, no content, since it did not return any content and the call did not fail. It just did not produce any return value. Therefore, no content. I strongly disagreed. I would use status 204 only for successful actions, example, delete, that does not need to return any data, basically a void. Am I misunderstanding something completely? Well, that is a great question. And let's start a timer. I would say that your coworker is sadly wrong. Well, not sadly, because he's wrong. He's just wrong. Or she's just wrong. Whoever your coworker is, right? They're wrong. Because just because the logic isn't logicking, right? It's like saying I go into, and that's how I think about things. Right? When I'm breaking it down, I try to take it away from the code into another and I put it to like something else, right? So let's say I'm trying to find a house, an address, and I pull up on the block, and the house that I'm looking for is simply not there. Did I not find the house, or there is like I found the block, but there is no content there because the house isn't there? I would say no content probably if the plot of lot was there and the house was like destroyed. But if the address is wrong, because the 123 in the API call in the path, that would be the address of the house. That's like the street address. And if the house is not there, then it's not found. It's like a return to sender. When you put something in the mail and you got the wrong address, you get returned 404 not found. The mail doesn't get delivered saying no content. it would be a 204 no content if I sent you an empty envelope. There's no content inside of the envelope, but it was still able to make it to its destination. But if I send you an empty envelope to a house that doesn't exist, to an address that doesn't exist, they're going to return that to sender saying 404 not found. So that's why your coworker is strongly mistaken. You are not crazy. You are not. Remember the Wayne's brothers? Don't call me crazy. You're not crazy, my friend. You're correct. If the delete and there's no content to be returned, then that's a 204, or it could be a patch, whatever. There's no content to return, right? Basically a void, like you said. But it is not a 404 means it is not found. Whenever think about it like this, right? If you go to a web page and you go to a page that is not on the website, that's going to give you a 404 not found. Like it's going to give you a 404 error, but it's going to give you like maybe a 404 landing page. It's not a no content. It's this does not exist. Plain and simple. This does not exist. But here's a question. Because I'm quite surprised that the coworker would have this perspective. Why does this coworker think that this situation would be a 204 instead of a 404? Because that should be basic. Ask your coworker this. What boot camp did you go to? Because that does not seem like the argument of a seasoned software engineer. Like I can ramble off some error codes. 400 bad request. That means that you have an error in your request. 401 not authorized. You don't have the correct authentication to continue. 403 you don't have the right permissions. 405 method not allowed. 404 not found. And the list goes on. So if I could just ramble these codes off the top of my head, I think it's 202 accepted. 204 no data. If I could just ramble these codes off of my head as a Q engineer, why is a software engineer having this debate? It should be obvious. It's not even a design thing. It's not even a design thing. Now, from a security perspective, I will offer a slight caveat, which I still don't think it's valid, but I'll play devil's advocate to my own point. If it is for security measures where you don't want people to be putting a bunch of different like codes or IDs to try to return something, and you're just gonna say you're gonna accept everything, that could work, but that is gonna be super, super confusing for an API. That would be super, super confusing. And it's not good practice. It's not good API standards. Someone could try to make a bad case for it, but it's not the right thing to do. You are right. Go with the 404 not found. Don't have trash code. All right. As Mitch would say, that joke was trash, but no trash code. All right. All righty then. All right. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Ferris said, I was reading an ISP exploit. It took 2 to 3 months for the ISP to fix, but not sure how they fixed it. You hear? I'm sure you know about the United Healthcare. Have they even resolved their issues yet with their stuff? And I read, I think it was either Experian or Equifax or one of those. I had a bug bite about this. They had because they didn't patch their servers fast enough, like their application, that got them like into vulnerabilities as well. Let's see what else we got in the building. So Rod Brown says, does the client see the 404? If so, then you return a 404. From the front end perspective, a customer would rather see a 404 response screen than a straight to exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like that would be so confusing. I would say even if the client doesn't see it, let's say you're interacting with let's say it's API to API, right? And whatever request you send, you always get a 204. So you never know if it's valid or not. It would be super confusing. And that's why there's standards and protocols in software development and API development. So that's what I don't know. That's what I would. It seems like pretty basic. I don't know. Let's see. So the car says 204, going to get a package at the door before. I was not expecting that one. I was not expecting that one. That is an awesome one. That is an awesome one. I love that. I love that one. It says 404. The package has no address to arrive. I'll tell you this. Your car has the best examples when he's breaking down, like when he's doing agile training and stuff, breaking it down to like a way to easily understand. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I just go straight technical, and your car's like, all right. Take what Ralph said and think about it like this. And he's like, and he boom, boom, boom. Like, oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. That was a great example. Let's see. Mitch says it was Equifax. Okay, it was one of them. And it says, but it's usually all three of them: TransUnion, Equifax, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. K Cooper, are you using that T? Sometimes. Too funny. It says, so are they arguing what the error is? They're arguing what is the proper response codes, because when you're designing APIs, you can choose what response code that you're going to use to let the end user, or let the API is going to, let's say you try to send a request, but you need to be authenticated and you don't have your authentication, or it's wrong, then you'll get a 401 not authorized error message. But what this person would be like kind of arguing is, if something is not found, then you should just instead of letting them know that's not found, you give a 200 error, error in the 200 range, which means that the request is successful. But if something is not found, then that's not successful, and that's what they're arguing about. Not what the error is, but how to if it's an error at all. That's pretty much what they're arguing. Is it an error at all? And K Cooper says that example makes sense. So shout out to your car. So he's breaking it down, and it's Rod Bruss says your car with the bars. It says about the Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. It's crazy because FICO is the only one that matters. Says your guy says, I love agile training with Tech Coach Ralph. No, your car. I appreciate you. And K Cooper, when are you coming to one of our agile trainings? Right? We do it every other Saturday, right? And which says FICO is who creates the score. Fair Isaac Corporation credit scores. That is good to know. All right, that's good to know. All right, let's see. And credit score determines what your interest rate will be. Mitch, we might have to save this information for Saturday mornings. You're dropping too much game out here. Too much game, Mitch. Too much game. It says your car. I do this. There has never been a self-compliment that Mitch rejects. All right, there's never been a compliment that Mitch rejects. I'm just saying. K Cooper says, I came to one like 2 weeks ago, couldn't understand nothing. Well, as your car always says, just being around, it's gonna start to click. All right, it's gonna start to click. So come and join us. If you saw what your car showed the other day about automating your life, automating your workflow, it's worth more than gold. All right, worth more than gold. All right. So let's see. And it says, I don't doubt you at all. From 35 feet. That's a fact. All right, let's go to our next question. Let's go to our next question. All right. So with that being said, we are on 5.
Another one.
Risks of being a QA. What? There are risks? things go wrong and you are the one to be blamed for everything, but how to handle that pressure of anything can come up at any time. So if you are in that toxic environment that you are getting blamed for anything, I have to start the clock, all right? So first and foremost, I think that I see this kind of question a lot about, oh, QA gets blamed for everything, QA gets blamed for everything, QA gets blamed for everything, right? So while we are we're testing, we're validating and stuff like that, guess what? I'm going to let you in. I'm gonna come close, right? The software engineers still wrote the bad code. The software engineers still wrote the bad code with the bugs, all right? So we are trying to catch it and prevent it and from it getting into production. However, we are not the software engineer cleanup people. We're not the cleanup people. We have protocols and methodologies and everything like that. One of my favorite mentors, Robert C. Martin, Uncle Bob, he says, and this is one of the premier software engineers. He started writing code in 1960, 1970, something around there. And he says that the goal should not be as a software engineer, your goal should be for QA not to find any defects, any bugs. That should be the goal for the software engineer. So it's not a blame game. If they want to play the blame game, you can always send it back to the root. Your job as a QA is to analyze the acceptance criteria, make sure you have all the details, write your test cases, and then perform that testing. But if something is happening, if someone it's a team thing. It's a team sport. Software engineering is a team sport. Software development is a team sport. So if LeBron James misses the game winner, did LeBron James lose or did the team lose? We all lost. So for me, I have no risk of being a QA. If I make a mistake, I own it. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, things can be rolled back. And then we learn from it and we analyze. When we have to do a root cause analysis or a postmortem, am I the only one working on this postmortem or this root cause analysis? No. The entire team is. The entire team is working on this. And we're having a conversation like, well, why did this happen? What did we miss? Oh, okay, as QA, I missed this. Oh, as software engineer, I missed that. Okay, this is what we can do to prevent it next time. Oh, you know what? We didn't have this testing in place. Oh, we didn't have this unit. Because guess what? While QA is testing, where are the unit tests? Why didn't the unit tests catch this? And that's how we work together. See, a lot of times people, and I think I'm gonna blame QA for a big part of this, right? You put yourselves at odds with the software engineers instead of working together, being on the same team. You just want to sit around and wait and then say, okay, here's the stuff, and now you start looking at stuff instead of saying, all right, I'm gonna get involved from the very, very beginning. When does my QA start on a story in a given and a story in the backlog? My involvement starts before we even have that refinement meeting, so that I can be looking through the backlog and say, okay, what are we going to be talking about today? Let me see what the acceptance criteria is. Let me see. Do I have any questions for the software engineers? Do I have any questions for the product manager? Do I have any questions for the stakeholders? What is it that we're going to be working on? Are the acceptance criteria clear? That's when the actual work of QA starts. Before the story even gets into the sprint, before it even gets into planning. And that way we are all on the same page. And I can ask, okay, did you think about this? Did you think about that? And now that story gets into the sprint, and we're creating a test plan, how we're going to attack it. From the very beginning, I don't take any time off. I don't wait. From the very time we start working on a story, when it's created, we start working on it. Simple as that. And that way, that helps mitigate things going wrong. Can things still go wrong? Absolutely. But you lessen the blow, you lessen the chance and the severity when you get involved at the very beginning. I know so many QA people who wait till they wait until the software engineers are totally done with their development. And then they start getting involved. They have a minimal amount of time. They have less context. And now they're trying to play catch up. I hate playing catch up. I like to be ahead of the game. I like to create the winning team. So that if we are in crunch time, I don't have to pass it to LeBron James for a 35-footer. I can hit him on a fast break so that he can just make a layup. All right? That's my thoughts behind it. Let me know what you guys think in the chat as well. Let's wrap that one up. All right, let's see what foolishness is going on in the chat. You know, I said LeBron and things got hectic out there. And I know Mitch loves LeBron, so you know, we shall see what is going on. Let's see. We got where are we? There we go. Let's see. So Harris said, over time, it will marinate and you'll get it. That's the K Cooper. That is a fact. That's a fact. I mean, a lot of things that I learned is just by exposure. So come and hang out, and plus, come and hang out with us. We love getting questions and we can break it down. So just come and hang out. Come and hang out, right? And it says 50 out of bounds like Curry. Okay. Mitch, remember I hit the game winner. And K Cooper says he will be in attendance next one. And your car says, you're supposed to be blaming everyone else first. What? Ralph, I feel you. You feel me? I feel you. Oh my goodness. It always comes back to those damn engineers. It sure does. No, it does. It does not. Maybe your engineers, but not my engineers, all right? Now, see, and I'll tell you this, right? Let me see. Two companies ago, like not my current company, but 2 companies before that, there were some engineers that were on point, and there were some that were not. One thing I realized by the way that my current company works is that the engineers have a lot of ownership over the design and the implementation of what we're working on, and it's not just the product manager, the product owner just writes a bunch of stories and then we just implement it, because that's how it was 2 companies ago. And I'll tell you this. The engineers, they were not as invested into the engineers that I work with now, because they, like, the sense of pride that we feel over us coming up with the solutions, we'll be given the problem that the company's trying to accomplish, and then we'll figure it out. And that way we write our own stories. We figure out how to test it. We figure out the infrastructure, all that type of stuff. We do our own research, and that gives such a great sense of ownership. Like, the people that I work with, they are proud of the work that they do, right? So I totally understand where you're coming from. All right, let's go. And it says, no, LeBron lost. And your car says, the team lost, and then LeBron took his talents to South Beach. And Rod Brown says, I'm always going to say that LeBron James lost. Oh wow, a lot of LeBron hate today. Okay.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'll just say this, right? I loved LeBron while he was in Miami. And then after he was gone, I'm like, okay, goodbye. See, but the thing is, in Miami, we weren't that heartbroken or butthurt about it, because we had things to do. So I remember when he left Cleveland, like the whole city burned down for like a good year. But we were like, okay, cool. Thanks for the memory. Thanks for the memories, LeBron, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. All right. So Mitch says LeBron. And your car, he notices that Mitch, I take you don't like LeBron very much. I'm kind of having that sentiment as well. I'm kind of feeling that as well. Your car. I think we're onto something here. We might need to have a therapy session for Mitch. Maybe. Mitch says, if there is no footage, I don't believe you. Your car will believe you because he is scared. Your car is not scared of me by any means. All right. I'm scared of everyone from Florida. Hey, I just know that if like in Florida, you see, this is how civilized we are. You see, I resent that your car. This is how civilized we are in Florida. In Florida, we call the cops to report our own crimes. Like the lady who was going to steal a car, she called the cops and said, "Hey, I'm stealing this car. I just want it to be legal." So we are upstanding citizens even when we commit crimes down here. All right. I'm just saying. There's nothing to be afraid of. We are upstanding citizens down here, right? It says, remember, all crazy people are from the Bronx and all of Florida. Barry says, Florida's built different. Oh my goodness. And wait. Let me get this one first. Because I'm a Kobe fan. He nowhere near Kobe. Okay. And your car says, LeBron, however, is a market booster. They put him in different markets to boost their viewership or uphold the viewership. That's why he keeps moving. That is an interesting perspective. That is an interesting perspective, right? And we got my favorite Melissa in the building. The same developers are blaming the testers for their own mistakes. That is very insightful.
Bruh.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that. Why didn't you catch my mistake? That's a good point. That is a good point, right? And the car says, in Florida, they throw alligators in drive-through windows to rob it. That is true. I can't argue. That's true. That is true. That's. I got nothing. All right. And you know what? Let's stop the Florida slander. We're gonna get one more Florida slander in the building. And Mitch says, "Ha! Forgot that was Florida too." SMH called the cops on herself. But that just means we are upstanding citizens, even in our crimes. Mitch, give us that credit. We call the cops on ourselves when we're about to commit a crime. Okay, give us that credit, right? Anyways, let's move on. Too much Florida slander. Too much Florida slander, right? Let's get to the next one, all right? So we are at, and let's go.
Another one.
I know Mitch is going to like this one. All right? It says, was I scammed by the ISTQB test? I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be yes, but let's go, right? So, ISTQB exam is a scam conspiracy theory. So this is their conspiracy theory, right? ISTQB is some testing certification that people get for QA, right? Allegedly, right? So I have been feeling that I have been scammed. What? I took the exam with my wife. She was in a separate room online, and I got a 62.5%. Correct? Which is just 1 point less than success. My wife got the same result. What? So, number one, but I'll come back there, right? So they both got 62.5. They both failed the test, right? So your wife failed, you failed. All right, cool. All right. Is this bad luck, or is it a scam and everyone gets this result first? If it's a scam, it's a well-made one, because now I feel like we should do it again. It was almost successful. And that would make a lot of money to the ISTQB organization. So Let's put my timer up. And so that test is like to get some type of certification from this ISTQB board that says like you were able to answer a bunch of questions on what they say that quality assurance is. All right. So that being said, I think that the test that you failed is not the scam. I just think the whole organization itself is a scam, but I digress. Because there have been plenty of people who've passed it with 100, with flying colors. So maybe you, number one, don't know QA that well. Number two, you fell victim for thinking that test is going to actually make a difference in your life. Number three, you're not a good test taker. It could be all those things. It could be some of those things. It could fall in between, right? So, is it bad luck? No, it's not bad luck. You just failed the test, right? Why is it that when people fail the test, we always come up with some type of conspiracy theory like, oh, this person was against me, or this is a scam, or maybe you just weren't properly prepared. That reminds me, I told the story. I think I told the story on yesterday, right? When I was in college algebra, when I was finishing high school, dual enrollment, Miami-Dade College, and I was like, I'm just gonna breeze through college algebra, and I took my first test, and I got a 48.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yes. And I was like, what? How is this? I thought I was just gonna sleep through this class and I was gonna be like, and I was taking pre-calculus, my 11th grade year, I think it was. And I got a 40, I got a 48, a 40 freaking 8. I was like, what is going on here? After that though, I got 100, a 98, a 94, a 98, and 100. See, I remember exact numbers because I wasn't applying myself. I was like, oh, this is easy stuff. And after that, I was focused. I was tuned in because I'm like, I'm not. And guess what? They dropped the teacher dropped the lowest test score, so that one was dropped, and I was good to go. I finished my test in like 20 minutes. An hour-long test I finished in 20 minutes because I was on point. I was on point. I share that because you, my friend, were not. And you probably have, like, you and your wife probably shared the same bad study habits, and you guys are probably quizzing yourself with the same wrong answers. But that's besides the point, though, because you guys are like, so now you both paid for the ISTQB test. And do you know how many people I know with ISTQB certification who can't find a job in QA? It's a long, long list. Here's my ISTQB rant. The only time, because like, and they'll market like crazy that, oh, you want to get a job as a QA engineer or a QA tester or whatever, you need to get the certification. You need to get a certification. And the only time that I've seen that people like they're actually requesting to get the certification is the people who are actually already working in the field. People who work in the field already, and it's like, okay, we're trying to get this government contract, or we're trying to get this whatever contract. We need you to get the certification. And now the company pays for them to get their certification. Do they ever use it? Absolutely not. The government requires certifications because they don't know what they're looking for. So it's like, oh, they must be right if they have a certification. But the actual companies are smarter than that. They're like, number one, I think maybe once or twice I've seen on a job posting, a job description, asking for that certification. And I've never been asked in any interview. And I've been on a lot of interviews. And I've never asked anyone in an interview myself, do you have your certification? Because I don't care. I don't care. If you can do the work, I can tell by your mentality how you think. I can see if you're a critical thinker, if you're innovative, and that's what I'm looking for. You don't even need to have the best automation skills or coding skills or stuff like that. So, did you get scammed? No, you did not get scammed. Did you take a? Did you? I mean, you didn't get scammed on your 62 and a half. You just failed. Did you get scammed by taking the test and buying into it? I don't want to get sued for defamation. All right, I don't want to get sued for defamation. All right. We are moving along. I am watching Ecamm like a hawk in my activity monitor because I see it's trying to climb, but we'll see. But I have a secret weapon. All right. So let's check the chat really quick. Let's see where we're going. Let's see what we got. So Mitch says Ralph is getting paid off those ads. I'm trying, Mitch. I'm trying. All right. Every time I type, ads pop up. Okay. Well, Mitch, keep typing, man. See, Mitch, I tell you, the party doesn't start until you get here, right? And your car says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, Florida." What? We do have some big alligators. We have some snakes down here. We have everything. We have everything down here. It's a total mess down here. It's a mess, all right? I don't like animals like that. The two cats that I have, I don't even want them, but I'm stuck with them, all right? So it says, "Welcome to the jungle." We still have Parrot Jungle. We have Metro Zoo. We have Lion Country Safari. We used to have, I think there was a Monkey Jungle at some point. Anyways, it says, Mitch says, "They got the same grade." They sure did. And your car says, "Say it ain't so. They are trying to scam you to take it again." What? It's real out here. So Cooper asks, "What is that test?" Like I was saying, it's a test that to get some type of certification that you pass the test about answering their questions about quality assurance. I don't think it's really worth it unless you're trying to get into a government testing position, which a lot of times those companies will actually pay for you to get it. I don't recommend people to take it because as long as I've been doing this, I've never, I think I know like one person who got it because they were trying to get a contract, but because the company was trying to get a contract, but it's not like I would say learn how to do the work and not how to pass a certification, which I was telling somebody in a coaching call today is like, stop focusing on the certification, learn how to do the actual work. All right. And then the certification will come naturally when it's time for it. All right. So Mitch says, did they take it together, copy off each other? So with that being said, I got an email from them the other day that said that from the certification company, I said that, now because our test is so important, we are going to be having an extra camera. So you have your computer camera looking at you, and then you have your phone camera also looking at you to make sure that you're not cheating. I'm like, you guys are doing way too much, doing a little too much, right? So your card says, they studied together, they learned the same. That's what I was saying, right? That's what I was saying. Let's see what else we got. Mitch says, it's crazy. When I was in high school with one of my homies, we used to compete who would get better grades. Down here in Florida, we didn't have these type of competitions, all right? Especially, oh my God. Like, I'll tell you this. When I went to the program, the dual enrollment program, the teachers, like the people in charge, right? We had 3 teachers and like admin, they said, this is the worst class that we've ever had in the history of this program. And it's probably still true to this day that we were so bad. Oh my God, we were so bad. I don't know where they rounded us up. It was bad. It was bad. We had like the class before us. We had so many doctors and stuff like that. Now it's just a mess, right? Anyways, I digress. Let's see. Your car says, I used to mess up the curve in one class and people would give me the evil eye. Your car, you're messing up the curve. I used to, when I was in elementary school, I used to kill it in Around the World. You guys remember Around the World where they would ask you like 5 + 5 and then boom, boom, boom. Well, I used to kill it. My dad used to make us study math, our math tables during the summer so that once we got to school, we were killing the game. Right? So let's see. Mitch said how they got the same grade. I don't know. We got my guy in the building, the wealth building journey. We're going to be creating a nice little calculator, rule of 72 calculator, me and the wealth building journey, and whoever else wants to join us. You know how we do. And we got, so your card says, imagine being in a spelling bee and you and the person you are studying with wrote 3 of the words wrong. So when you go to the spelling bee, you both get the 3 words wrong. Oh my God, that's terrible. That is terrible. And all right, let's stop right there and let's get to the next question. We got like 2 more to go. We are in good timing. All right. So let's go to the next one.
Another one.
Would you really trade work from home for a higher paying job? So this person says, I would not. This isn't related to me, but I was thinking back to 5 years ago. So for example purposes, say you were making $90,000 a year and another company offered you $130,000 per year, but no remote, 1 hour of commute, 5 days a week. Is it 1 hour commute each way or is it 1 hour commute in total? That's a good question to ask, right? 5 days a week. 5 years ago, I was previously in an office at an in-office required job, and I just ran through the nightmare in my head this morning while thanking God for the business I have now. Wake up at 7 a.m. to get ready, shower, let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Breakfast, get dressed, and then take the bus and then subway for an hour. Arrive at the office to be greeted by the most annoying coworkers and managers ever, asking you about your weekend, your family plans, etc. every freaking day. The same irrelevant conversations. Ooh, sounds like you're not a people person, right? Spend the next 8 hours trying to look busy while your boss is watching you in his the lavish floor plan because you deserve no privacy. Get a headache 4 hours in because all the blinds and windows and lights must be on maximum brightness. Lunch comes around and now your boss is asking you why aren't you eating the work snacks when you already told him yesterday you don't want to. It just sounds like an argument you'd be having, right? Have your managers roll their chairs over to you to start an absolutely pointless conversation unrelated to work, but they need to prove that the office life is so much better for cooperation. After 8 hours of complete torture from the pointless chats, the micromanaging and work, you now have to spend another hour commuting home. So it's an hour each way, actually, all right? So that does suck, especially on the subway. It must be in New York, I guess. You leave the office during rush hour, get on the overfilled train that smells like it is overly crowded for the next hour. It must be New York. While doing so, you're thinking of how you'll do this again the next day, but you still do it because you need the money. I'm so glad to have escaped that crap. Now I wake up anytime I want, work anytime I want, travel anytime and anywhere for however many months I want. So, would I trade working from home for a higher paying job? That is the question, right? 5 minutes up. So, I would do the math. At the end of the day, it's all about math, right? See, it's all about the cost benefit analysis. See, I don't make emotional decisions. Because I was saying the other day, when you make decisions with your emotion, that's when bad things happen. I might have an emotional thought in the moment, but when it comes time to making a decision, I have to analyze every single aspect of it, all the potential risks, all the potential outcomes. Because, well, if you ask one of my cousins, they might say that's not true. But trust me, it's true. It's true, right? It's all about strategy. But so when I say I have to weigh the cost, is all right. Is the company that wants me to be in office going to compensate me enough for that? Because at the end of the day, if you have to commute an hour a day, that means you have to have you have to pay for your subway pass or your gas or parking pass. Like I know some people who work in like downtown Miami area or downtown Fort Lauderdale, where they're paying like $300 a month for their parking pass. And when you do the math, like you calculate the gas, like when I was getting ready to start the current company I'm at now, I had like 2 or 3 other offers, and like, well, I have to drive to this location. I have to I'm gonna have to there's just different things that you have to do. Traffic, rush hour, wear and tear. I put all that into a calculator. And I said, all right, is it worth it? How much flexibility do I have? So for $90K versus $130K, is it like that to me? I mean, it's a quote unquote fair comparison, but the actual comparison that you're making though is like, all right, when you add everything up, the time that it takes, the money that you're spending, the wear and tear on your body, does that equal $40K? If 40K is more than that by whatever percentage, then I'll say take it. If it's not, then don't. But let's bump it up, right? Let's say you bump it up to 160K. Now is it worth it? You bump it up to 200K. If you bump it up to 500K, would you work from the office every single? So Mitch, here's a question. Would you do the hour commute every single day for 500K? Same job you do now. But if you were making 150K, but they said, you know what, Mitch, you can do the same job, but we just want you to be in the office every single day. It's an hour commute, but it's going to be 500K pay. Would you do it? See, we all have a price. We all put a price on how comfortable we are. And we have to see, like we have to make adjustments. But at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. How much money? And most of the time, people don't use their time wisely, anyways. So that's what it is for me, right? I don't say, oh, I would never trade it. Do I like working from home? Absolutely. But I've worked in the office for many years, and I don't like that's like the only thing I hate about going to the office is the drive. But that's it. Like, I don't mind work. I can work around people. I can work on my own. That's never been a thing for me. But it's at the end of the day, it's all about the numbers. I plug it into my time cost calculator, and I see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, then I'm like, no, I'm going to stick to where I'm at. Because is it really a higher paying job? Like, it's not just about the salary; it's about everything. What are the benefits? What's the equity? What's the RSUs? What's the 401k? You have to look at total compensation. And then you also have to add what's your costs are, because we still have costs. They're not paying you for your gas. They're not paying you for your mileage. They're not paying you for that extra time they're not paying you for the time that you drive to work and then you come back. So you just have to calculate everything. Everything is a numbers game. Everything is a numbers game. And that's my thought on that one. All right, let's check the chat real quick and then we will continue moving. Mitch says, I actually spelled a word wrong on purpose because I didn't want to go to the final round. That's too funny. That is too funny. Let's see. So Melissa says, students blaming their teachers because they failed their test. They didn't study. Mm-hmm. That's true. That is true. And I'm just gonna brag on Melissa just for a second, because I have all my friends here, right? Melissa is 18 years old now. Just turned 18 a few months ago, like right around my birthday, and is already learning Python, learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all that type of stuff. And as the summer comes up, going to be locked in on the Python and the web development course. Right, Melissa? Right, Melissa? Just make sure you commit, right? And Mitch says, I started to think that I'm bringing those commercials. Oh my goodness, they do it too much. Oh yeah, Mitch says, I told you I went to the other school. You did, yeah, that is true. You did go to the other school, right? So let's see. In Grammar Discord, I was recommended to do CSS, HTML, JavaScript instead of Python and to focus on front end then full stack. Thoughts? I would say that it is a very, very front end heavy Discord. In that Discord, I would say as well as I'm not saying that it's not good to do front end and full stack, but I think that the realm that you're in cybersecurity, that Python is more closely aligned to the things that you work on and that you're learning. And I think that you can always get into HTML, CSS, JavaScript at like whenever you want. But the thing is with the Python stuff, I don't think there's many people who can actually help you with that, or that or that they have much use for it in that Discord. So that's why I would say that it's just a very front end heavy Discord. So that's what most of the people did a boot camp that it focuses on that. So that's probably why you got that advice. But yeah, I would say stick to, like, you're already doing the Python. I'd say stick to the Python. Let's see. So is junior full stack less desirable than front end or back? Is it less desirable than front end or back end? What do you mean by less desirable than front end or back? Because full stack just means you do both. But this means you do both. But I don't know if it's less desirable. I don't think it's less desirable. I think people I think junior full stack is an entry level job that people would be dying to get, so that they can build some experience if they were going into like that software development for front end. Mitch says, give me that 90K. Give me that 90K. Okay. Okay, Cooper says, no, stay home. What about if it's that 500K versus 150K or 200K? What about let's expand the gap a little bit. Let's expand the gap. I'm telling you this, for the right amount of money, I'm gone. I am gone. All right. And how you get energy towards the end? I don't know, Mitch. I don't know how I do it. Hey, Cooper, don't be agreeing with. See, Mitch is such a bad influence on all my people. Mitch is such a bad influence. I tell you. Bro just explained The Office. He did explain The Office. Oh my goodness. And it says, stay at home and take the 90K. Besides, you could always make more along with your job by doing your own business or work two jobs at the same time. Chase the bag. I agree. Chase the bag. I'm just saying though, what if the bag was double or triple what they were offering you? So let's say it's 90K. They say, okay, you know what? We really, really want you, but we need you in the office. Would you do it for 180K? Because Rod Brown, the king bag chaser, just moved up the morning show to 7 a.m. to your car's heartbreak to go into the office a little bit more. I'm just saying. The king bag chaser, I'm just saying. What would I do? Me? Sounds like Joseph. He works in New York. Cooper says, Subway smells like pee. Ferris says, 1 hour each way. I'll do the remote. Saving my time is making more money. And it says, nobody is commuting that much each day just to be in an office. I know some people who have. I know people who have. I had a friend. If you guys know like the South Florida dynamic, they were living in Miramar, South Florida. Like it's like South Broward area. And they would drive all the way down to Kendall every day for their job. And that's like an hour to an hour and a half job. Just depends. Right? Let's see. So people actually do this. I know. Yeah, I agree. And Ferris says, not gonna lie, last place I was at was 2 hours commute one way, and it had rats and insects. Just left it to get remote. I agree. You guys are too funny. Let's see. Ferris says, assuming no deers block my way. That's too funny. Yeah, you are in the middle of nowhere. That's it. Ferris says, I made more money cutting out the car expense and saving my 4 hour. See? Like I said, you have to do the math. It all depends on the numbers at the end of the day. For me, it's all about the numbers, right? It says, I did it already. Okay. And let's see. 500K a year, but an hour commute to and from per day. You see now the tables have turned, right? It's like, okay, well, that's a different story. That the stakes are a little different, And I don't mind on site. I like it until there's no pest control. That's a non-negotiable for me. Oh my goodness. And people do it for less. That is true. People do it for less. Exactly. And Ferris says, if I'm making 500K a year, I'm taking a helicopter to work. That's an option. On the company credit card. Says that's the thing, Rod Brown. I don't think it's their decision though. I mean, it is at the end of the day, but not everyone has these opportunities. And then some people, they will end up buying these places in these remote places, and then now they have to drive a long way to actually get to work. Let's see. Warren Buffett. Yes, it's normal in Jersey, and Mitch calling me bro. Oh my goodness. You said it, not me. You guys are so silly. All right. Anyways. So shout out to Melissa, of course. Your car says that's dope. Yes, it is. Let's see. And that's just dope. I wish you much success. I'm gonna make sure she's successful. I'm gonna make sure she's successful right there, right? And let's see. Says I guess on the Discord they were saying don't be a jack of all trades. Be really good at front or back, as that's more employable. Oh, okay. The thing is, right? Like if you take the course that I took, they show you to do both. I mean, and that's the thing. A full stack web developer, they can build a simple API and stuff like that. They can build APIs. Like I'm at 2 companies ago, the front end developers, they also had to build like a API to connect to the real backend, which was like the main API. So I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I think that it just depends on what level of backend. Like if you're doing let's say you're doing the MERN stack, which is Mongo, Express, React, and Node, then they go together. So I don't know. I don't really agree with that. But yeah, I agree. Stick with Python for now. I think Python is more down your alley, anyways. For what you work on. So, Mitch says, bad influence got the world following Mitch. That's true. That is true. And we have Omani Adesanya. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Please forgive me if I'm not. Twitch died on me. Okay, bye Twitch. Let's see. So it says, how do you handle a scenario where you ask to come in to work 3 times a week and your manager works remote because they live in another city? I mean, do you mean like, because the manager is not in the office and you're in the office? I mean, it's at the end of the day, if you can find something better, then do that. But he goes to the office 3 times a week. A lot of times, see, that's the thing. A lot of times they'll hire people who are like in the remote location because they want people to come into the office. And depending on your level of experience, you might have to come into the office more times than other people. And then as you grow, you might be able to work more times away. But a lot of times, like if you can come in 3 times a week, it's very flexible. But if you don't have another option, then you go 3 times a week. If you do have another option, then you find you get another job that doesn't require it. But if you're I'm going to say this, if your manager is allowed to work remotely because they're somewhere else, remember this, listen carefully. You are not your manager. Your manager is your manager. You are you. So you're not going to get treated exactly the same. They're a manager for a reason. They have different roles and different requirements. So if that's what you meant the question on, then it's your choice whether you're going to stay with that company if that bothers you. But I don't think that should be a hindrance. And if that's what you accepted, that's what you accepted. So that's how I see it. All right. And we got Anton is getting with the new time. I figured this, but he said it too. He said that they're asking him to come in more because they need to tutor and train and mentor the younger people. So I mean, it makes sense. And he's not too far from there, anyways. With the new place or the office, and it says hour and a half is normal. A lot of these people forget. Most people were doing this before the last 3 or 4 years. That's a fact. And it says if he's not in office, stay home. Your camera doesn't have to be on. Just stay home. Be careful. See, don't listen to Ferris and don't listen to Mitch. All right. Follow the guidelines that were given to you for your terms of employment, because if you are let go because of listening to bad advice from Mitch or Ferris, they are not going to house you or give you a new job, right? Do not listen to Ferris or Mitch, right? I'm just saying, all right? I'm just saying. Anyways, let's get to our last question of the night, and then we're going to wrap it up for tonight, all right? Let's get to it. It's been a long day, long night, all right? So let's get to our last one.
Another one.
How do you learn to speak all that corporate lingo, right? So I feel like I'm hesitant to speak up during meetings because I don't know how to speak corporate. All these people in these corporate terms drive me crazy. Don't call me crazy. Where do you learn how to play the game? I feel like I speak in such simple terms, it makes me sound dumb compared to their corporate words. Help a girl new to corporate. So this is right up my alley because I always tell the people that I'm coaching that, hey, stop using all these big words. Just speak English to me. And I have my pencil here. And the wealth building journey. Thank you so much today for not dropping those big words. What was the word that the lady said in the video again? It was, I don't remember. But thank you, Wealth Building Journey, for being on your best behavior today. I really, really appreciate it. I am not it depends what corporate lingo is, because I am not a corporate lingo person whatsoever. I don't speak that corporate talk. I am straight to the point. Hey, how do we do this, this, and this? And I think that when we try to it's like this. We try to use big words when we don't know, or we're not comfortable with what we're talking about. See, me, I'm able to just go straight okay, I can get straight to the point. And I'm like, all right, we need to do A, B, and C. Because a lot of times using these complicated terms, that's where it gets lost in translation. So you'll say one thing and they understand something else. But if you just use basic English, it's so much easier to communicate. Now, if you're writing documentation and paperwork and you have like legal obligations to meet, then that's a different story. And now you just have to write it professionally. But when you're just having communications back and forth, why do we have to make it more complicated than it has to be? See, me, I am a very, very simple person. That drives some people crazy, but I'm a very simple person. And when it comes to like technical talk, like if I'm trying to, like I try, not as good as your car, but I try to break technical stuff down to be a little bit easier, because just so we can be on similar understanding and footing. But it depends on who you're talking to. Like if I'm talking to the engineers or developers that we have like constant communication, then I can say I can use more of our technical terms. But if I'm talking to someone who, I don't know, maybe someone who's not on our team, maybe a stakeholder, then instead of saying like a particular term that we'd use for video, I'll just say video. And break it down that way. See, I think you need to know your audience. And I don't think anyone needs to feel bad for, just speaking like ways that people can understand. See, me, I don't, like I said earlier, I tell the people that I'm coaching, like, because they'll go into boot camps and they'll go into like take online courses, and then those boot camps, those courses, they'll say like these terms that now they start to use it. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, well, it meant this, right? And I'm like, well, why didn't you say that? I'm like, you could just say exactly what you're thinking. Like me, I just like to think straight from my head, right? So I'll give you a quick example. One of my tech barbarians, I had him I wanted to introduce them to like creating the subtasks for the stories that we're working on. So they said, so I said one of the acceptance criteria was to make sure the web application is still running the right way, using this file. And they said, verify data sources. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they said, well, it means this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, why don't you just say this, that, and the other? Like, you could just said like, okay, make sure the website still works, instead of, oh, verify data sources. I'm like, that's a little confusing. And this is why it's confusing, because now someone who's new to the project, they come in, they read it like, what does this mean? And that's why I'm like, keep it simple, stupid. Not calling anybody stupid. I'm just saying the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. Or we'll say keep it, I don't like calling people stupid. Let's say keep it simple, silly, right? And that way, it's so easy to break down. Anybody can read it. And that's one of the things that we spoke about BDD maybe 2 weeks ago, behavior-driven development. And it's supposed to make the terminology easy to understand across stakeholders, across the developers, across QA, across everybody, across the whole organization. Making it easy to understand, easy to break down. And that's why I'm always like, all right, simplicity, like just said it, simplicity is bliss, right? Very, very true. Keep it simple. And that way we don't have to focus on like trying to break down. I don't have to have my dictionary or my thesaurus every time the wealth building journey makes a comment, all right? I can just say, oh, okay, this is what this means. So how to learn corporate speak? If it's for documentation purposes, for legal purposes, find learn how to write better. Maybe use some type of AI to help you write better. I don't know. But when it's just like day-to-day interaction, then just speak normal. If there's just explain it in a way that you're going to understand, and then that way and if people don't understand, ask them tell them, and one thing I always ask, do you understand what I mean? So I'll say, I don't ask, you feel me? I don't ask that, but I say, do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, are you following along? Do you have any questions? Always ask that, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because if we're not on the same page, that's when we have confusion and we have a bunch of errors. All right. So, how to learn corporate lingo? be yourself, speak the way that you understand, and ask if people have questions, if they understand what you're saying, if they feel you. All right? Alrighty then. That is our last question for our marathon night of questions. All right? Alrighty then. And we're going to wrap up the chat with the chat, and then we're going to head out. All right? So let's see what else we've got in the chat before we wrap it up for tonight. So Mitch says that Mitch gives good advice.
Bruh.
So are we all just going to let Mitch talk in the third person? Like, are we just going to let Mitch talk in the third person? Mitch gives good advice. Oh, all right, Mitch. All right, Mitch, you give good advice. All right. And it says, my corporate people start bugging when I talk like this, that the corporate thugs be like, no, Mitch, talk that. And Omo, let me try that. Oman E? I'm sorry. I'm just going to say Mr. Adesanya, right? Mr. Adesanya says, simplicity is bliss. That's a fact. I agree with that. And Ferris says, you should use big words in corporate culture to foster better your car, help me out. Elasticity between. You know what? I don't like you, Ferris. I don't like you, Ferris. At least if you're gonna give me these big words, put it in a super chat, all right? Get out of here. Get out of here, right? And Ferris says, doesn't sound like you're a team player. And Mitch says, to be honest, in my experience, most of them that use big words don't know what they are talking about. FYI, the numbers we go over on Saturday. And that's why I had to break it down to a 6th grade level so it can make more sense to me. And now I know what the weekly uninsured or insured unemployment claims are. It's when people are asking the government for help because they recently lost their job. Tune in on Saturdays with me, Yakar, and Mitch, where we break down these economic numbers, right? And Mitch also said, also in my same experience, a lot of corporate people don't use big words. That's a fact. Rod Brown says, sometimes people use big words just to make their statement feel bigger than what it is. I hear this a lot in my project stand-up calls. Just keep it simple. That gets a message. Yep. And let's see. Ferris says, that's basically management in my experience. And Ferris also says, I like to hear big word battles that makes the meeting 3 times longer so I can do less work. Ferris, I thought you were going to say, I like big words and I cannot lie. That's what I thought you were going to say, but I'm wrong, right? And it says, I say you heard, Brody, you copy. And Ryan Brown says, when you are talking to core people, just ask yourself this question. What would your car say? I like that. We're going to put that on a wristband. On a wristband. What would your car say? All right. And let's see. The Wealth Building Journey says, corporate lingo is the worst. And it says, Ralph, why do you hate me so much? I don't hate you, Mitch. I don't.
We the best. They ain't believing us.
They ain't believing us, Mitch. They ain't believing us. All right. And I see more syllables equals less work. I see. I'm on to you guys. I'm on to you guys. All right. And Mr. Adesanya says, speak normal. Most importantly, understand the technical terms. That's a fact. That's a fact. All right. And lastly, wait, what about my shirt? I need the spotlight. Let's make it happen. All right. Let's make it happen. We're going to get some men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate shirt for Saturday mornings. And we're going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. All right. But on that note, we have reached the end of the show. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who showed up. I really, really appreciate you guys. Yakar, Mitch, Mr. Adesanya, Rod Brown, Kay Cooper, The Wealth Building Journey, Ferris, Antonio Watkins, and if there's anyone else that I missed, I appreciate you guys so. Melissa, of course, Melissa, my Melissa, of course, all of you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys. I really and just for Mitch, I didn't even hit him with this one as he got in here. Hey, all right. So after all these questions, I have a question for you guys tonight. The question is, of course,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
are you not entertained? That's what I'm talking about. And of course, you guys know yesterday's price is not today's price. Thank you so much, Rod Brown. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Mitch says 3 cases by the end of the year. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. But like I was saying, yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price. Because as Marlo would say,
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
the price of the brick is always going up because inflation is a mother. Just saying. I'm just saying. All right. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here. You guys get some rest. See you guys in the morning. Remember, we're going live tomorrow morning. We're going to continue working on getting our app in the iOS store. So tune in. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. All right. Thank you so much, Melissa. I really, really appreciate you. And we're going to get to work this summer. We are going to make it happen. All right. I will see you guys later.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Spartans! What is your profession?
You should know your role and shut your mouth!